I want to believe that we're live. So, happy birthday stream 2026. We are hopefully live. I've been working for the last hour trying to get this set up and more because the day that I originally wanted to do this setup that I have right now, I was trying everything to get everything to work. But now I did some video tutorials. I was looking around. Well, more than anything, not video tutorials, but looking up online, using a bunch of Google searches, and I got everything set up. So, welcome to the birthday live stream. Hola, buenas. For anyone who joins, this is just going to be a friendly little live stream to hang out in order to celebrate my birthday. As it says, birthday live stream. If you have, of course, any Ecuador related questions, we'll try to answer them if there's anything to say here. Also, I did want to do a little bit of a talk about the situation with what happened with Venezuela. I was planning on doing that as a live stream on Friday, but time just didn't work in my favor to be able to do that. So I figured if anyone asks or wants to know about it, we can talk about that here. There's a lot of ways that we can do this. But please, if you join the stream, please let me know if you can hear me, because I have no idea. I have not played around with this way of streaming. I'm actually looking up because the screen is over here now. So it is going to be very different to what I'm honestly used to, the way that I typically do my streams. Hopefully the way that this is set up now, we will be able to actually play videos. And actually, I was like even thinking that maybe it would be cool to play the videos that I put on Instagram for the, what do you call it, the encebollado video. But I was like, we'll see. Audio is good. Thank you, thank you. Buenas, Chris. Buenas, Tenbai. Birthday, happy birthday. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you, Chris and Tenbai, for joining. We've got a few things that we can talk about, of course. Birthday plans today are mainly this stream. In the morning, I had some work. Well, in the afternoon, the morning I did my exercise, my routine. I actually posted a little bit of an update on that on my Instagram. In the afternoon, I gave classes. And then after that, I was just, I ate, and then Horse is running to get this set up and make it work. So yeah, I think I did my best to set this up. And if everything works the way that I wanted it to, for example, shift it over here, we should be able to see the video and hear what it's about. By the way, this is the video talking about the situation, if you heard about it, the person who was shot by ICE and, American citizen. It was pretty crazy. We can avoid that, of course, if we want to, because it just happened to be part of the conversation that I wanted to talk about with how things are in regards to what happened with Venezuela. But like I said, the stream is more to have fun. We could even watch some videos of these guys, Enchufe TV, which is it was more popular before, but they are the biggest, I think, video company, if that's what you want to call them, in Ecuador. Enchufe TV. They make videos. They started off on YouTube. I remember when I was watching their videos on YouTube at the very beginning, it was really funny. It was really cool because it was like unseen, unheard of. It's like you could say the glory days of when YouTube was like that. When YouTube started, not a lot of people knew about video creation, so everything was just very, as you would call it here, criollo. And when you talk about criollo, Oak Bison Builds, yo, what's up, brother? What's going on? Thank you, thank you. I'm just gonna put the word criollo. Basically, whenever anyone mentions something like criollo, it's kind of like done in a way that's very fresh and like not well prepared, I guess you could say, is one way that you could look at it. I'm trying to find the best definition for that. It's very much not exactly what I like that, what I said exactly like that, but it's difficult to understand, like because you could even associate it with the whole viveza criolla, and when you talk about that, it's like something that has to do with here, like the culture that's here. But like criollo, you can look at it like young, like very unexperienced, very not pro, I guess would be a good way of looking at it in the context at least that we're talking about now. And Enchufe TV was that kind of channel that when they started, it was wow, a whole bunch of like really really funny skits. Me who didn't know like the best Spanish, like watching their skits, I thought was pretty funny and a good way to learn Spanish because you wanted to understand the jokes, you wanted to see what they were saying. At least you know for me, for anyone who was from here and who watched Enchufe TV, like everyone who was from here, they just really liked it because it was just really cool. When they're talking about pigs or cow, they just near native or crossbreeds, right? For they do mention a lot the gallina criolla, and that's basically just the you could say like the farmer's chicken. That's the way I like to look at it because it's literally the chicken that you get that's in the countryside. So if you were to buy, for example, huevo criollo, like criollo eggs, they would basically just be farmers' eggs. They would be eggs that are from the countryside, by a chicken that was raised in the countryside, which is different from like the more manufactured chickens, the more manufactured food that you get, which isn't criollo in that context. So yeah, criollo has a few different uses depending on the context, of course. Here we are giving Spanish classes in part like English Spanish mix. But yeah, that's the way that you use it when it's in the countryside. Although I've never really heard someone call the pig, for example, chancho criollo. I've never heard that. Or vaca criolla. I've never heard them mention that. It's more said when we're talking about chickens or when we're talking about the eggs of the chickens. So, you know. But you could understand it to be basically the same thing. So yeah, I don't know. Do you guys want to watch some Enchufe TV? Maybe do some live reactions now to test the stream quality because I feel like now that I actually have a machine that can run it, it would be really cool to do. Ryan, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Glad to see you could make it to the stream. Cool, yeah. Uh, let's see here. What video would be cool to watch? I mean, honestly, I haven't watched more of their recent work when we talk about Enchufe TV, mainly because I've just been focusing on so many other things. But I remember the original content. I even made a reaction on my channel of one of their videos. Unfortunately, I wanted to do more, but I ended up not. But yeah. Let's see. What was a video that was really, really, really cool, but long time? Oh man, I'd have to look back to like when I first got here to find videos that I was like really into. There were some videos that I was when I wanted to make a reaction series, and I was planning on reacting to a whole bunch of Enchufe TV's videos, but then afterwards, like when the first one I saw, it didn't get the attention that I thought it could have gotten. I was like, maybe it's just something that no one's really interested in, so maybe it's not actually worth doing. So I just kind of like left it behind. Escuela de la Vida. Well, I mean, this does mention school, and it's like 3 minutes long. We could watch that one. The perspective of a drunk person, un borracho. When you talk about un borracho, like you can say that someone is borracho, and that's saying that they're drunk. But if you want to say él es un borracho, it's like saying he's a drunk. So you know, I honestly find it harder to say to call someone a drunk in English than in Spanish, and that's some of the things that people talk about when it comes to Spanish and English. And I feel like some people just say it because they really like the idea of Spanish just being cooler in some ways than English, and for the majority of people who know Spanish, it being easier, which I always say it's relative. If you start with English and you learn Spanish, Spanish is harder. If you start with Spanish and you learn English, English is harder. So it's going to be the reverse for each situation. But one of the things that No, I lost my train of thought because I started talking about that. Um, but yeah, in the context of learning, people always find the language that they're learning to be harder than their original language. So, I was talking about how when people talk about languages, especially when it comes to the situation with Spanish, they always say it's cooler than English because there's so many expressions or words that you don't express similarly in English. Like, it's always the bad stuff. And that's also another funny thing when you teach students English. They're always like, I want to know how to say the bad words, or what does F word mean? And I'm like, I can't explain that to you, man. Like, what is that? What does that help you in classes? Like, I just tell them it's a bad word. And sometimes I'll be like, you know, you'll hear it in context, and you already know what it means because they already know what it means. They just want to hear the teacher say it, basically. So yeah, chat. Let me know. What do you want to do? Today is a celebration day, so like I said, we can watch one of these videos. I'm looking at Escuela de la Vida and Perspectiva de un Borracho, like good examples of videos that we can watch. There's also this one, The American Dream, which also seems like it would be pretty funny, based on what we know. Or we can talk about, like I said, the situation with Venezuela. So let me, you know what? Let's make the poll. I'll let you guys choose. So, beat day, live stream, event. So basically, live reaction to Enchufe TV. Talk about the Venezuela situation. And just because, just hang and chat. I also brought my self-bought birthday gift, a little chocolate bar, and this was the Christmas / birthday gift that I received also. So I bought this chocolate bar. I know it's not Ecuador chocolate, but they say that all chocolate comes from Ecuador anyways because of the cacao. But I wanted to give myself a little treat. I was like, yeah, you can eat this for the live stream. It should be nice. Patricia, muchas gracias and buenas. I'm glad to see that you can make it. By the way, if you guys see me looking at the screen, looking up like this, it's because I'm looking at the screen that's actually, it's my TV that I have to use as my computer monitor because the computer that I have I don't have a monitor for it, so I'm just using the TV screen as my monitor. So I just decided to do it like that. That's the way that I could resolve it, at least until I get a monitor. Either way, I would need a space in my room to put it, and I just feel like right now where the TV is like the perfect spot. Unless I were to put the monitor like under the TV or a little bit closer, like I could put it here, but this table is kind of unstable because it's like got legs that are like this thin. So if one of them actually broke off, I don't know if you noticed on the last stream, I think I was suffering with the leg of this table, but my dad, he helped me, he fixed it, he put something on it, but he said we have to get it welded anyways, so that way it doesn't like keep breaking. So yeah, so buenas to everyone who's joining the stream. I did leave a goal, of course, because just in case, if you guys wanted to, it's completely optional. But if we achieve the goal, I could take the stream. I am planning after the stream around like 7:30, according to my brother. We're gonna go out to eat. He told me we're gonna go out. And if anyone was on the channel in its earlier days, we did do a live stream, a birthday live stream over at Roll Wings, and we're planning on going back today. So if you guys, that's an idea if you want. If that's something, but if only if we get the goal, because I don't want to like force it either. Because I was like, let's do the stream here, just because I want to be able to show that now I can actually use the computer. I can actually use more than what I was using before. And it just feels so much better and lighter because everything just feels so much faster. Before, when it was on the computer, I would worry that like if I moved anything, the stream would just start wigging out. It took a lot of configuring. That's why the stream was tentatively set for 5, but I was like, by the time I finished doing everything, it was literally like 10 minutes before 6. So I was like, yeah, it's just gonna be at 6, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. By the way, so far I see that the just hang it and chat option is the main one, with the talk about the Venezuela situation being a close second. Well, if we talk about things to just chat and talk about, I did get a message from my friend Lewis the other day, and he had actually told me about something happening over here in Puerto Viejo. I just don't know how I would open that right now because it's on Facebook. Basically, there's a bird watching route here in Puerto Viejo, which if you ever visit Puerto Viejo, you want to have a lot of things to do in general when you're visiting any city in the country. So one of the main things in Puerto Viejo, and I wanted to talk about this in a video, but I still haven't been able to organize it the way I want to. So in order to not like leave it and not end up doing it, one of the main things that you can do over here in the city is you can go to the Cerro Jaboncillo, which is where I did the tour with Mark Horning. For anyone who saw the short about that, we went to Jaboncillo. It's it's an archaeological site that's here in Puerto Viejo. I know people from Puerto Viejo love to say that there's nothing to do here except eat. But it's just that if you were to go to Jaboncillo every weekend, you'd get tired of it too. But it's like it's a thing that you can do if you happen to visit Puerto Viejo and you want to like do something different. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Now there's the bird watching tour. Of course, there's different places that you can take pictures here in Puerto Viejo, including the fountain, the water fountain that had that I even did a live stream in that the day that it was inaugurated by the former mayor, and also the gastronomical route that Puerto Viejo has. I haven't done that myself, but I do my own gastronomical routes basically, as you've seen in my food tour videos, my food tasting or showing the food of Puerto Viejo videos. But yeah, John Montana from California, hello. GMAs from Puerto Viejo, muchas gracias. Thank you very much for the happy birthday. Glad you could make it. So yeah, that's just some things that I feel that you can do here in Puerto Viejo. Some of the more basic things, of course. The situation around the country right now, I'd say, like, if you want to look at the bad things, there's some weird things going on. But right now, the situation with the country feels pretty chill. Except for, like I said, when you think about the bad things or if you focus on them, it's like bad. But after, like, that's part of the reason why I opened up the ICE video, the one that Legal Eagle made, and I was like watching it. I ran through like 75% of it because I didn't get a chance to finish it. But basically, sometimes people worry about what the situation is like over here, and I always tell them, well, like, what's the situation like in your country? And with the situation in the States, especially with the shooting of what I believe was an American citizen by an ICE agent, Agent Ross, if I remember correctly from the video that I watched. I mean, wouldn't that mean that you would be afraid of being in the States because something could happen, because someone could mistake you as a foreigner or think that you're being aggressive towards them when you weren't? The footage that I saw, I can't find a justifiable reason for why the ICE agent would do what he did. But, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like they say nowadays, it's a dystopian world we live in, especially over with things like that. Yeah, it was crazy. So, I mean, if you have to fear for your life from people who are supposed to keep the peace, I mean, why wouldn't you be able to come to a country like Ecuador, where even if there are certain risks, at least you're not paying like 10,000 in rent. Well, I don't know what rent is, but you're not paying the amounts, thousands, 2,000s that you're paying over in the States. Over here, when it comes to rent, and we still need to make this year's cost of living video. But when it comes to rent, you're paying like $200 to $300 for a decent place, and if you just want to go all out, you're paying like 500 plus. And even then, I don't think you're going over 600 to 700 unless you're like splurging. Like you gotta go like baller status if you want to like go up past $600, or maybe you're living in a city that you're just like really just higher cost of living, something like Quito maybe, would, and certain parts of Quito would be like, I could imagine you paying like a whole bunch more for living there. Tenbai and Michelle, mi cumpleaños, thank you, muchísimas gracias Michelle, and buenas. Thank you for joining us here today. Shout out to channel members, by the way. Thank you for the support on the channel. It always means a lot to me, and it helps me to keep making videos. I do apologize that I haven't been posting videos. I actually posted my shorts series of the encebollado competition on my Instagram and on TikTok first. I was planning on posting it to YouTube, spread throughout the last few days, but I was like, since I'm gonna do this live stream today, maybe it would be too out of place to put those videos first and then afterwards the live stream. I figure after the live stream, I can put those videos while I'm in the process of doing the next competition. Yes, there will be one more, at least one more competition. I've already said that before. So post them in the process of this week. I could do 2 in one day, 2 another day because I have 4, or I can post 1 each day. I'm thinking about it still. Either way, if you want to watch them beforehand, you can follow me on Instagram or follow me on TikTok. You can see the videos there. Tenbai, you have to search for his cell phone footage, which was released. She did hit him with the car before he fired in. The first shot went directly through the windshield in front of him. From the video footage that I saw in the video that Legal showed, and he actually shows the footage of the ICE agents as well. And it's like, if you look at it from a specific angle, definitely it looks like he was getting hit, but I can't see it as justifiable cause for the excessive use of force that was given in that situation, because it's a car that's literally parked, like it's not moving, it's literally going 0 miles per hour, and even if you accelerated, there was the, like Legal was explaining that there was the revving sound of the car before it started, and you know what? We have the video here. And the person was about to take off, and in the process, like, you could see that the tires were turning and not actually trying to hit him. And like, if you see someone, like, if you see them boxing you in and someone like coming to like grab the inside of your car, open your car door, like, and you know you've done nothing wrong, well, you could say that, oh yeah, why didn't she just like step out of the car then? But like, are we really gonna go into that mindset of like trying to justify that kind of force to someone who was like literally not doing anything like excessive? I don't know. It's perspectives at the end of the day, but everyone's free to give their opinion. We'll see if we look at it a little bit of the video, because I also don't want to get copyright struck by YouTube. Especially since Legal literally just posted this 5 hours ago, and I don't want to, like, I know I'm not going to take his views, like he's a 1 million subscriber channel, but still, I don't like cannibalizing the views of anyone else, because I would not like it if that ever happened to me. Moon River and El Cubo, thank you, muchas gracias. Espero que estén bien. I hope you guys are good. So let's I guess we'll look at that for now. Let me see if I can get it to the part, yeah, over here where they're showing the footage. There's one part where he's like showing the different angles. So let me see if I can find that somewhere around here. Was it after the sponsored segment? Was it before? No, it was definitely before. So yeah, I want to believe, yeah, it was around here in this video.
Illuminate your prospects for Canadian relocation.
Oh look, they want to send me to Canada.
Might have been her.
Let's see here. She was part of a left-wing group that had been chasing them all day long. There's a lot involved with this beyond what happened right then, but there's never an excuse not to follow a legal order form, legal enforcement. Yes, I mean, if I had heard that there's been some talks about like what the intentions of the person of her being in that situation were, but I can't believe everything is just going so far down the political aisle, and it's like everything's become so politicized. I remember someone talked about it. I don't remember if it was Moist Critical, Charlie, or who it was, that you can't go on anything and give an opinion because it immediately becomes political. Even all this Sydney Sweeney stuff that was going on a few months ago, all politicized. Like, does it have to become political? I mean, it might have been political. I'm not saying it couldn't have been. It's just, like, why does it have to be like that? Yeah, here is the footage, so let's look at it.
Continuously during the shooting, which we'll talk about in a second. Looking more closely at the moment Agent Ross fires, he appears to be standing to camera left of the SUV while the SUV's tires are pointed all the way to the right away from him. And things are...
So see, like the SUV is literally completely, the tires are pointed not even in his direction because, like I said, it's a slow moving car. He literally moved to the side, and in the process, because it shows it somewhere in the video of him moving to the side, boom, gun, like out of nowhere. And like, and it looked, and literally in the video it shows how he shifted his hand, like his phone hand to the other hand in order to be able to reach for his gun. So in my mind, the intention of him pulling out the gun was already there from the beginning. Like, I don't think there was a situation where this didn't escalate in a way where he used some kind of force. He was just looking for maybe, like, I don't even think this was him looking for an excuse. This just, he saw that there was a takeoff about to happen, and he's like, oh no, I gotta do it now before she gets away. Like, it kind of feels like the intention from the beginning was violence, or the intention from the moment, because Legal does say that she made a snarky comment, but like not even in an offensive way. It's just kind of like joking around, but in a way that the other person could take it like you're challenging me in a way. So that's the way I saw it. At least if I wanted to put myself in the position where she kind of like challenged me to do this, if I wanted to, like if I really wanted to go to that extreme end of justifying the action. 10 by, that's absolutely right, Ace, but there's nothing political about following a lawful order from law enforcement. Oh yeah, true. But that's where I kind of like, I don't know where to draw the line, and I think Legal was talking about that too. Like, do the ICE agents count as some form of law enforcement, peace officers, I think he was calling them, agents of peace. I don't remember what the exact denomination he gave for them was, but basically, do they count as that? Because if they count as that, there are certain legal means that they can go through, so that, because they're talking about how this agent is going to be, well, they want to prosecute him. What's the possibility of prosecuting him? But since the government is basically backing the ICE agents, like, no, what they did was justified, like it's becoming hard to find a way to prosecute them. I don't think it's becoming hard. It's just there's now like someone saying that, yeah, you know, they have a reason for what they did. Like they're justified in their course of action. And I'm wondering if that means that there's going to be legal repercussions to this person, this guy, Ross, or if it's just going to be Agent Ross, or if it's just going to be brushed off as like, no, he had all the right to do what he did. And yeah, end of story. But I mean, if we call him a legal enforcement, then yes, obviously what he did, what he said, like, you know, to follow the rules, and yeah, I mean, they gotta do what you gotta do what the officers say. Though I can also point out, not specific situations, but I can also talk about how in the past, people who have followed the instructions of law enforcement don't exactly come out scotch-free if that law enforcement is already trigger happy, I guess we could say. But yeah, let's see. Michelle, her last words were, "It's okay, dude." Yeah, that, exactly. That was what she said. But the thing is, if you hear the tone of voice, like if you wanted, like that's what I said, like if you wanted to go into that mentality of the way that she said it felt kind of like she was challenging him, then I mean, yeah, you can put yourself in that position of what the way that she said it was kind of like, you know, challenging, and that's why he got kind of offended, and he was like, and he didn't feel like, I don't know, maybe he got testy about it, and was already like hoping that he could have some action that day. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying. I'm not saying I know what he did or why he did it. Like, at the end of the day, he might have literally just felt his life was in danger. But if anyone's life, if anyone had to feel like they were in danger, it's the person in the car being surrounded by people who have already been known to take people and put them into forced isolation for who knows how much time. It was actually an interesting talking point that I had with a friend of mine at the basketball court this Saturday, where he told me, like, why are these ICE agents? Just because I call myself Ace, like everyone knows me as Ace. So when some new people asked me like, what's your name? I'm like, Ace. And they started associating Ace with ICE, and you know, I don't want to get into explaining it, so I just laughed. Haha, yeah, you know, now I'm in Latin America. But no, I'm telling my friend here, like, because he's asking, if they want the people out of the country so bad, then why put them into these containment centers for weeks, months, and like basically like torture them, and not just get them out of the country? And I don't have the specific answer to why that happens, but this whole process of just like targeting Latinos, people of Latin descent, feels like just blatant racism. Like, I don't know how else to look at it. You can obviously, like, I know the argument is going to be, but they're there illegally. But not all of them are there illegally. That's my counter argument to that argument. There are people in the States who are very much legally American citizens. They just look Latino. So by targeting all of them, because they have to fulfill quotas given to them by the president or by their department, they're basically just going into racism. And I kind of wonder, because there's gonna come a point where there's just no more Latinos left. Like, not like all Latinos are gonna be eradicated from the States, but like there's gonna be a point where there's just like no justifiably good reason to get these Latinos out of the state, because they're American citizens, their family's American, they're completely, you know, they're American. So who's next? Has anyone stopped to think who's next? Because Latinos can only be the target for so long. I mean, unless the agenda of the current president is, I don't like Latinos, if his problem is against illegal immigrants, not illegal Latinos, illegal immigrants, when is it going to be someone who's not a Latino? Maybe there have been cases. Honestly, I because I'm in the Latin American community, I mainly hear about well, of course, because the Latin Americans are the ones who are mainly targeted, I mainly hear about the Latin Americans. But at what point is it going to be, we got rid of all the bad Latinos, now all the drug dealers, the mafia leaders, the gangs in America who are Latino are gone. Now we have to get rid of the other ones. The other foreigners who are damaging the America is great again image. Who's next? I don't know. Honestly, there's no telling what's going to happen 100% with 100% certainty, because I told this to a friend, or I think I told this to someone recently. But you couldn't have asked me. I could have never. You could have asked me what's the worst you thought President Trump would do in the States, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that he's doing that are good. I want to believe that to be the case, because there's no way there's so many people following someone who's doing just bad things in the country. But I want to believe that there's good things that are happening in the country as well. So in that belief, of course, what's the worst thing that you think that the president could do? And never would I have said the president is going to attack Venezuela. Like, you couldn't have paid me to choose that Venezuela was going to be a target for war Coming from the president who is the anti-war president. Like, he's literally saying, I am the anti-war president. I am the peace president. I am the president who is not going to create wars. 5 seconds later, invades Venezuela. You couldn't have paid me to guess that that was an option of the things that could have happened. But here we are. Let's see here. Okay, going back to the comments. The moment that she approached those ICE agents with a moving vehicle and did not stop the car when they told her to get out, wham bam, goodbye, ma'am. Kind of sad that it happened that way. Honestly, I feel like, of course, like with any situation, everything is super avoidable. Everything is super avoidable. It's just like, do we have to go to this extreme? Like, we can sit here and justify the ICE agent until our faces turn blue, until Ecuador exports more chocolate, which will happen constantly, but until our faces turn blue. But did it have to go that far? Legal Eagle even said that in most scenarios, you don't want to shoot at a moving vehicle because that could easily cause civilian casualties. You saw what happened after he took her life. Her car literally went and rammed into another vehicle. It railed another vehicle. What would have happened if instead of that car, there would have been a kid walking by there? What would have happened if there would have been a family walking by there? It didn't even have to be a family. What would have happened if there would have been a pet? Like right there at that moment. Something, any living being walking in that space where that car went out of control because that person's life was taken. The ironic thing is it could have even been another ICE agent that could have been walking by there, and because that person shot her dead, unfortunately, sad to say that, it could have been an ICE agent that was hit by that car. The use of force just was too much. Too much, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was too much. You guys I will agree with you if you tell me, like the lowest bar to set that where I will be in agreement with the situation is if you tell me she should have gone to jail. Like, okay, she should have been taken by the ICE agents. Whatever. Like, okay, sure, I'll take that. Sure, she didn't listen to what they said, and maybe she had been following them and obstructing justice at some point. Like we say here, chévere, cool. I'm gonna write that in the chat, chévere. That's cool, by the way. Chévere. Chévere. I could take that. But taking her life was too much. Too much. For what little she did, too much. There's a lot of propaganda out there. However, he's a federal officer giving lawful orders during the course of his work. 100% immunity from prosecution. We'll see. We'll see. Honestly, if he does get like immunity and like nothing happens, I don't think I could ever go back to the States. Right now, I find it hard to believe I could go back to the States. If that happens, like, no, I don't want to go back. Even the visit scares me. Imagine this Latino face. Hey, you're going into a nice detainment center. Woohoo! That's not summer camp, kids. No, no, no. This mother lost her life. A mother, 1852, wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin and sparked civil war. Happy birthday. Oh, RM, hello. Hola, buenas. Happy birthday. Trump will not be president forever. Agreed. This was a self-reflection I was having the other day, thinking about how long the period of Trump will last. What's the possibility of him finding a way to get himself reelected? And in the case that, of course, he doesn't, what comes after the current presidency? Like, if everyone starts if everyone from the current office starts fleeing the country, then you know that they know what they did was wrong. That's what typically happens over here in Ecuador. When someone loses a campaign and they were just corrupt or they were not doing things right, they leave the country. Because what other reason would you leave the country for? If you're so dead set on being a president or someone who wants to improve the country, why would you leave the moment that you lose an election? And that's what happens over here. Yeah, that lady in 1852 wasn't categorized as a domestic terrorist. Things are a bit different now. I kind of want to know what exactly justifies someone being considered like a domestic terrorist. Like, what do you have to do to be a domestic terrorist? Like, if I go to the States, would I be a domestic terrorist? Oh, I didn't see some messages up here. It's up to the people now. Immunity and pardons are like lollipops, Tootsie Rolls. They were targeting Somalis when the shooting happened. Ace, if I come to Ecuador illegally, but I live a good life and I don't hurt anyone, but then get caught by your government, I've read your laws and it appears they would kick me out as well. I would agree. I agree with the idea of, you know, if you're here illegal. Like I actually, well, no, okay, let me rephrase that. If you're here illegally and you're contributing positively to the country, living a good life and doing good for the country, like, and you know, living your life, like, I don't see why they can't facilitate the process for you to live here permanently. Like, not even here. Like, I talk about that like in any general country. Like, if your intentions are good, like, I don't see why that wouldn't be a just cause for someone to be able to stay in the country. The problem is the people who go into a country and are there to do bad things. And like, I don't know if the percentage of people in countries, foreign countries, that are there illegally to do bad things is higher than the amount of people who are there illegally to do good things. So like, if there's more people who are looking to do good than bad, and they're doing things that you don't even want to do yourself, like, I always come back to this because it's so frustrating, and it kind of goes into the situation about Venezuela talk, but like you see that the president, that the current government in the States is getting rid of Latinos, but just the Latinos who are taking, who are basically not even taking the jobs, they're doing the jobs that no one else wants to do. But they don't get rid of the Latinos that are like on farms, that are like doing things that I know no one else wants to do because it doesn't pay enough for people to want to do that job. Like, if the situation were really get rid of illegal foreigners or illegal immigrants, then you would get rid of all of them. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of the people who are still in certain jobs that just happen to be funded, that, let's just say, like, I don't know, just X farm somewhere in the States is funding the Trump candidacy, the current Trump presidency, and they talk to the president like, oh no, our Latinos, please don't touch them. So they don't touch them. If they're also illegal, why wouldn't you? Because that would be fair. It's because they're not looking to get rid of all Latinos. They're looking to get rid of the Latinos that are convenient for them to get rid of. Well, right now it's Latinos, but eventually, like I said, who's next? But yeah, going back to the idea of what's coming after Trump, like, oh boy. A lot of people have done a lot of things that are irreparable at the moment in the States. And I'm kind of wondering who's going to pick up the pieces of what's been shattered already in the country. Let's see here. El Cubo, I am in Panama. Hope you're enjoying your time in Panama. And if I am caught here illegally, they would kick me within the blink of an eye. I have no doubts. Panama just seems like a kind of country who also doesn't take any prisoners. But like I said, I honestly think if you're not doing anything wrong in a country, and if your intentions were never to do anything wrong, why would you have to get kicked out? Well, if we want to look at the legality of things, because it's illegal, but like, there's people living in the same country, in the States, who are doing things illegally. Like they're doing very bad things, and they're actual U.S. citizens, and you can't kick them out obviously because they're U.S. citizens. But like if you had to choose, the person who came to your country and contributed positively to it, never committed a crime, good neighbor, good person, versus this guy who, at the blink of an eye, at the drop of a hat, decides, I'm mad, I want to shoot you, because of some stand your ground laws. I'm not talking about the ICE agent, by the way. This is just a speculative, hypothetical situation. They just get mad and they're like, hey, I want to take a life, or a bunch of lives in the case of shootings. Which do you prefer? I'm pretty sure the sane, logical people would say the person who, even though they're there illegally, they never commit a crime, over the person who's over there taking lives. Unless you're just radical American, or nationalist, I think that's the correct word for it, where you're like, I don't care, they're American, let them do a school shooting. Come on. There's got to be a line to be drawn at some point. David, happy birthday, muchas gracias, thank you very much. Thank you for joining the stream. I've actually been in immigration detention in Mexico for expired tourist visa. What was that like? Because everything I've seen just does not sound cool. GMAs, about 2/3 of the Border Patrol in Texas are Mexican Americans ancestry, so you may have a distorted perception of American Latinos. Maybe. I'm honestly not sure what 100% constitutes an American Latino, because, like, I know that there are Latinos in the States, legal, born, raised American Latinos, who don't know a drop of English. Not a drop of English. But they're American. Because their families lived there for so long, generation through generation, where there was no need to learn English because of the environment that they grew up in, and they just only know Spanish. Would that person not be Latino in the eyes of an American? Of a, I guess, 100% American? Even 100% is kind of off, because remember, I think all Americans are technically, in some way, immigrants. But I don't know. Honestly, I can't I can't support the idea of what's happening with the basically discrimination of all Latinos. And not just Latinos, because it's like I said, it's eventually gonna trickle over to someone else. RM, do you think the ICE agents should help the people of Puerto Lopez get rid of the gangs? I think it was a little vigilante justice on the beach as people tired of vacunas. I'm wondering if you saw the same image that I saw. All I'm gonna say is heads. And if that's what you saw, then write yes in the chat. But do I think ICE agents should help the people of Puerto Lopez? We're talking about Puerto Lopez, Ecuador, right? I don't know if there's another Puerto Lopez. But the problem is people wouldn't take kindly to foreign justice. They take kindly to like the help of gangs and cartels because we're tired of that. But like the problem with having ICE agents specifically is that ICE agents are too biased, I guess you could say. And you could say that people coming from the States to help control the drug situation are also going to be biased. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But the situation is, unfortunately, yes. Oh yeah, I saw that. People are taking matters into their own hands, and like, the post that I saw around it, the people are like very happy about it. They're uncommonly happy about it, because people should not see that and be happy about it, because it just shows that we've come to a point where we're not happy about what the situation is like for some places in the country. And for it to get to that point, it means that people are tired of it. And they'd be more, I think people would be more receptive to the idea of not ICE agents, but like military, foreign military, because they know there's the perception that the military from other countries is super strict. Here, the problem is people think that the military, like the police, in some way, shape, or form, are corrupt. There's some sort of form of corruption sometimes. And you're going to think that all the time based on the small tidbits of information that you get. It's propaganda, basically. They tell you that this is the situation, and because that's the source that you heard it from, that's what you believe. That's why it's good to kind of like fact check and look around from different sources. Not just the left, but the right, the center. Like look around for information so that you're not just focused on one source of information and then your view gets kind of clouded. I don't know if I talked about this in the last stream, but I talked about this with a friend recently, where people are very, very much used to the idea of, what would you call it? A community. A community is good. This is a community that we have right now. All of you who are here, I consider are a part of my community, and I love you guys. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. I appreciate it. You're all a part of my community. We're like a kind of like a mini family, I guess you could say, friends. And it's like, and we have, for the most part, a similar perspective. Because you come here for information on Ecuador, so everyone here has Ecuador in their mind. But a lot of communities nowadays are kind of built around the idea, especially with this political landscape, to guide you into believing one thing, especially if you already had the notion of believing that thing. So just to give you an example, and it's a really bad example, but just an example. If this community were a smoking community, and we all agree that smoking is good, smoking promotes longevity and smoking is the best thing ever. This is not me saying that this is the actual thing. This is just me using an example. But let's just say someone were to say that. This is a community that believes that. Everyone in this community is going to 100% believe that this is the case. So if an external community comes in and tells you smoking is bad, you're not going to believe that community, and you're going to be like, no, you guys are crazy. How could you believe that that's the case? So there's too much of like a mob mentality with communities nowadays, where you believe that what the community says, or what the person who is the leader of the community, the person who's speaking, that's what they believe. And that's what the whole community believes. And you believe that because that's the world you're in right now, that's the reality, when that's not the case. There's so much other information, other viewpoints that you have to look at, that you can't just close yourself off and believe that this is the reality and everything else is a lie. Everything else might be a lie, but you have to take enough time to listen to it in order for you to make that conclusion yourself, and not just believe everything that the community says. That's why with Don and the people who I think are closest to me in this community, in the Ecuador community, we always tell you, do your research, spend your time here, like do things as well yourself. Like we can give you a good viewpoint because we're trying to be as honest as we can, but only you're gonna know your reality, because your reality might be different than ours. I saw a message from Wiggy. Hello, Wiggy. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, amigo. Daniel, it's been a very long while. Muchas gracias. Espero que todo esté bien. I hope everything is well. I also saw a message from Linda's. Happy birthday. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Also, buenas to everyone joining the chat. Thank you for taking the time to be here today. Right now we're in a just hang and chat kind of vibe, because that's what the majority of the chat wanted. I'll give probably around the end of the stream some of my thoughts on the Venezuela situation. I'm not gonna omit it. I just wanted to just talk about general things. We got very into this whole situation about the ICE agents and everything going on. But honestly, you're free to 100% choose the side that you want. This might be an Ecuador-focused community. We will talk about things about the States from time to time. If my Canadian friends want to tell us something about what's going on over there, I would love to hear it. no problem with that either. But more than anything, it's like we can talk about anything, and I'm not going to judge you for it because you have the right to believe in what you want to believe in. No one can take that right away from you. Just make sure that what you believe in, you're sure about it. And if it happens to be wrong, like if this whole situation with the ICE agent ends up going the way of the ICE agent, I mean, I'm not going to say I was wrong about that situation because honestly, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's the right thing. But I'm going to say, well, I mean, I guess I was wrong about him possibly being persecuted or having some kind of charge put on him because I feel like that's what's coming next. At some point, that's what's going to happen. That's what I think. Will that actually happen? I am not sure. So yeah, wow, got really into that one. Source is everything. Indeed, Michelle. Is Chief holding your table up? I wish he were. But my dad actually, I talked about that earlier. My dad actually fixed the leg of the table. So now it's actually muy bueno. We still need to put like we still need to like weld it, like do something so that it's actually well set up, just in case. But for now, I'm kind of okay with how it is. Because I don't exactly always have the time to do these solutions. Let's see here. Alcubo David, I am a permanent resident of Panama, but I am living a few months a year in Paraguay and visit my daughter in Florida for a couple of months a year. Ooh, Florida. I call that my trifecta. That's good, that's good. You got to spend your time, do your things the way that you want, the way that you feel is best. You got to have fun and enjoy life. And family, the good family will always be important, so never forget them. I have to emphasize the good family part because a lot of people get this whole idea that you have to love your family, and if your family treated you poorly your whole life, I could completely understand why you wouldn't like them, and I would never force you to like your family. It'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, so let's see here. Well, I think since we finished, hopefully, that conversation about the ICE agent, let's talk a little bit about the Venezuela situation. Like, I can't really go into details on the Venezuela situation because, like, I'm not from Venezuela, but I do have my thoughts of what's to come, what I've heard. First, starting with everyone's excitement. Latin Americans in general, and I mentioned this in a comment on someone's post somewhere on YouTube or on somewhere, but Latin Americans were like thrilled. Venezuelans were thrilled. Everyone was just like, "Hey, finally!" We've been talking about how terrible having this dictator in Venezuela has been for all this time, and he's finally gone. So everyone was just overjoyed. I can't stop with the amount of synonyms I have for how good everyone felt about that happening. But, of course, I've seen some comments from Venezuelans themselves. I've talked to some of them. Some people who wanted to go back to Venezuela, and I don't think they're going back anytime soon. Based on the current turn of events, not turn of events, it's the current sequence of events, I don't feel like it's the time. But I'm not going to be unhappy for their happiness because this is something that most Venezuelans, and I don't use that loosely, most Venezuelans have wanted for a long time. The person who was in charge of Venezuela finally not being in charge of Venezuela. Because he didn't deserve it. It's a crazy thing, but one of the things that I've talked about a bit in regards to the situation with Venezuela with some people is the aftermath of what exactly happened. Hold up, I want to reorganize this. Set it up wrong. Okay, there we go. The aftermath of what's to come, basically, because right now, well, the mask is off, and the real reason why Venezuela was basically attacked has been unlocked. The new character unlocked here, which was oil. It should have been obvious. But the problem is the consequent actions that could happen, not that will happen, but that could happen, because we've been talking about this with people that I know, and of course I've been meditating on it myself, and it's like I kind of feel like now that there's precedent for what happened, because before, like I said, you couldn't have paid me enough money to believe that Trump was going to attack Venezuela. Eh, eh, to me, that was all, you know, empty promises, threats, showboating. I don't know. I just did not imagine it. But now that that it actually has happened, what are the possibilities of another country being attacked next? Like, I'm glad for Venezuela, and I really hope that they go the right direction. Maybe actually get a president that they vote for into office, which I don't know if the current presidency of the United States is going to allow that, because basically they're saying we're going to be running Venezuela in, in, in their terms, until they find someone appropriate. But who's someone appropriate? Someone legal, or is it someone who the current administration is like, you know what, this guy is useful to us? Which I think that's why the current vice president, who is the person who is the current temp president, was ideal for them, because the person seems to be a master of understanding the situation with oil in the country. I don't know the full details. I just remember having heard about it, and they just seem to be too conveniently good at what they know how to do in terms of oil for them to be replaced by someone else. But again, like, what is good for the current administration? Is it someone not corrupt or someone convenient to them? I'll let you decide. But anyways, the repercussions, I think everyone has already talked about them. I just have to say them because this is my thought process as well, because it could affect us as well at some point. If Ecuador, I don't think we're going to be targeted as future. Like, I have speculated the idea, like I have said it to some friends, like, imagine if one day Trump is like, oh, you know what? I think Ecuador's president is smuggling drugs with their banana containers. I don't like that. Let's get rid of the president. I don't think that's going to happen. But, like, imagine if that happened. But that's the extreme. That's the absolute extreme. And now there's precedent for them to be able to do that because, well, what did they just do with Venezuela? And it's even easier because the States has good relations with Ecuador, with some of their military doing certain training over here in the country. That's not what I think is going to happen. If anything, the possibility of what I think could actually happen is Ecuador being a foothold for future operations in places that need things done. I use the term need very loosely because, like I said before, I don't think what happened needed to happen in Venezuela. From the perspective of a Latin American that was tired of the situation, yes, that needed to happen. But I don't think that was the best way for things to happen, is what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of still in a processing phase of what would have been the correct course of action to take, because this is the other extreme of why I think what happened in Venezuela was good. The fact that if Trump didn't do that, no one was going to do that. If the current administration didn't do what they did in Venezuela, Venezuela was going to be the same place probably for another 10 years. At minimum. So honestly, something needed to be done, and someone had the cojones to actually do it. Now we just need to see what the effects are going to be of this situation, because it could easily be that, you know, once the current vice, who's the president in Venezuela, becomes the official president, and now that they're being supported by the United States and the oil companies are going to Venezuela, they could end up developing Venezuela and making things much better for Venezuela, and that would be great. That would be amazing. I think external intervention is not a bad thing, if they're making the country better. Will the natives be happy about it at 100%? No, because everyone in some way, shape, or form is a nationalist, and everyone wants their country to be better, but the way that they want to make it better. But of course, the people who have lived through what the situation is like for as long as they have, they're going to want the situation to be better, so of course, they'll take any help that they can get. But the question is, will the situation actually get better and stay better? Or will it just be a mask of things being better and the situation actually never gets better? I don't know. It's hard to say. By the way, guys, I just wanted to say again, que viva el cumpleañero. This phrase, when it's someone's birthday, everyone's just kind of like, maybe they're hanging and everything, and then someone just screams out, que viva el cumpleañero! And then everyone's like, que viva! So basically, long live the birthday person, and everyone's like, oh, long live. So yeah, just if you ever hear that at a party, if someone says it, you just repeat, que viva! And that you should be fine. Let's see here. Looking at some of the comments. Straight the dog. Venezuela is a scary situation. The U.S. used an expansive sonic wave weapon and some other directed energy weapons. The Venezuelan soldiers admitted that they were confused, vomiting and bleeding from nose and ears. Modern warfare. Modern warfare indeed. Some of them even passed out. I so wanted to celebrate with them in my heart. I felt that they had to know they jumped from frying pan into the fire. Yeah, I saw a lot of people worried because someone, I think I saw this on Threads. Someone was like, you guys are actually happy that the United States invaded your country? And a Venezuelan had to reply and be like, we're happy that the dictator who was illegally in the position of power in our country was removed. We're happy about that. That's all they said. Something like that. And basically, it was a friendly comment, by the way. It's just like responding to the idea, you know? But yeah. Same here. I go to a doctor in Mexico. No health insurance here in U.S. Luckily, I have many friends in different states of Mexico that I met when they were working in tobacco. I heard that health insurance situation in the States, I don't know if it got tough or if it was going to get tough soon, because I heard that prices were going to skyrocket. 99.9%. David, for the money, Panama has the best healthcare, and if you got cash saved, then I would look into it. Good options. Panama does appear safer. I'm flexible. Maybe hop around for a year or two before deciding on a permanent base. As we always say, the exploratory trip is your best friend. Exxon has publicly stated Venezuela is uninvestable. It would take years before oil would flow, infrastructure and military presence, unstable socioeconomic conditions, etc. Ooh, I didn't hear about that. I haven't heard about that news yet. I'm wondering how long exactly it would take. I mean, everything is investment. So if anything, I think that's why Trump was putting the pressure, President Trump was putting the pressure for people for oil companies right now to invest so that they could take advantage of what the situation was like. I even heard that some companies were, the day that after it happened, they were going to the stock market and like invest. Some of the companies were taking flights. I'm guessing Exxon must have been one of the companies that took flight over to Venezuela and noticed that the situation is just not what they want. Que viva, eh? Gracias. It's true about out of the frying pan and into the fire. It's, and I was just about to say that, magic. It's gonna get tough really soon. Oh boy. Well, in the States, I can imagine with the health insurance situation. You come to Ecuador, Latin America. Remember, over here, the situation with health insurance is definitely not anywhere near as expensive as it is in the States. I wouldn't call it cheap as an Ecuadorian, but definitely as a foreigner, you could find it a lot more accessible to come over here and live through that and live your life. So yeah, I guess final thoughts on the Venezuela situation at least. I honestly don't think it's the best thing that happened to them, but at the same time, it's not the worst. The worst thing is what was, I think, option two, which I think is another 10 years of Maduro. And that's literally what's causing people to leave Venezuela. And you know, that's kind of part of I forgot to mention this, but like, we talk about how President Trump, the presidency, the current administration, is just so hung up on getting rid of Latinos. The Venezuelans are bad, apparently, because they're all part of gangs. But he just went and saved Venezuela. Huh? Like, does that make sense to anyone? Like, it's self-interest. It's self-interest. There was no way that he was gonna do that if there was no interest in it for him. Like, if there was no benefit. It's kind of like how the situation in Ukraine, not exactly the same, but I understand that he was basically asking for Ukraine to give up like precious minerals in order for them to keep the United States support. I think it was something like that. And of course, Russia's just trying to argue a deal where they get the most benefits. But I just don't understand how you could even like have a conversation with Russia right now the way that they are, because they're basically just like, no, things have to be the way we want it. If not, there's no peace. You ask for violence, we'll give you violence. And that's just basically what they're doing. Lake Maracaibo is already producing a ton of oil that is being sent to Colombia for processing, and Ecopetrol is selling it to Panama, USA, and even Ecuador. Things that I have not heard about recently, to be honest. I just know more about how the situation of the oil is supposed to benefit the states, not so much how it's being currently distributed. My advice: buy stock in Ecopetrol and Petroobras Brazil, because they will be paying dividends. You should put in quotations or in parentheses, not financial advice. This is all in Canadian news. The people of any country, please know he will not save you. I'm so sorry. For any Venezuelans that are in the chat or that ever see this, know that in the short term, you might be very happy about it, but be ready for the worst long term. Just be ready for it. Not saying it'll happen, and I'll put my foot in my mouth if it doesn't happen. I'll be super happy about it, to be honest. Not even sure if put my foot in my mouth is the right expression for this, but I'll definitely be a lot happier if nothing bad happens than if something bad does happen. Nope, I am not a financial advisor, just an old guy living in Panama. Well said. It's just that everyone, whenever they talk about anything financial related in videos, I always notice that they say, remember, I'm not a financial guide. So that way it's like, legally you can't hold them accountable for it. So yeah, Al's just trying to help us make good, possibly good financial decisions based on his analysis. Well, yeah, honestly, I'm over here just hoping for the best, regardless of what the situation is like, regardless of what the administration is like. Like, if you are living a good life right now, please keep living it. If you're planning on coming to Ecuador, please come prepared. Do your exploratory trip. Bring what you need to bring. Don't forget, watch the videos, but also do your own research. Don't just be overconfident with ChatGPT or any AI. Let that be a support tool, not the end all to your investigations. And yeah, I guess the only other thing I have to say is, once again, thank you for being here. And great gratitude towards everyone who is a channel member, buy me a coffee member, a supporter of the channel, because honestly, it's just, it means a lot. I don't break bank on YouTube, nor do I break bank on Buy Me a Coffee, nor do I break bank in my work. So any form of help is always going to be appreciated. Even you guys just being here in the stream today, I think is going to help in some way, because since I haven't been making a lot of videos, whenever I post something, it helps in some way, shape, or form. And I more than anything do this because I want to hang with the community. But of course, the support is never unwanted or unappreciated. So, muchas gracias. In regards to Linda asking me, are you doing anything fun for your birthday? Yes, we are going out later with my brother in about, I want to say 30 minutes to go eat. I had put as a goal to bring the live stream over there so we can hang out over there as well. But you know, didn't reach the goal. It's okay, not a big deal. Either way, it was just an option. But we're gonna go. We're gonna eat something, and yeah, after that, that's it. I think that's my birthday for today. I normally don't do a lot of things for my birthday. If you know me or if you've been on the channel long enough, you know that my birthday is just a day where I just have a little bit more time to myself. I still worked today. Everything, I mean, for any normal person, I think if your birthday is on a weekday, especially on a Monday, it's just a work day. So I had work. I'm happy to the people, about the people who joined the stream and said happy birthday today. I'm happy with the people who sent me a message and told me happy birthday today. I'm in general just happy because I'm alive and there's so much things that we can do while we're alive. Encebollado, I wish. Honestly, I think today we're just gonna eat some wings, maybe. I love wings, by the way, if you didn't know that. That's why I miss the red hot sauce, which they actually started selling over here, but they're the small bottles, so you know I have to like buy them whenever there's a chance. Like I said, I'm probably gonna eat this chocolate bar over at the restaurant as well, as part of my birthday gift to myself. Because honestly, these are my birthday gifts so far. This was an early birthday gift, half birthday, half Christmas, and this was my birthday gift to myself. I don't know if I'm gonna give myself something else later. I'm kind of thinking that I should get something that I need, but I'm thinking about the things that I need right now. For the channel, I think I'm set. Honestly, I would love to have better video storage. I was looking up some storage options online, and I found that there's these things. One, I found this super like cloud storage device. It's not actually cloud storage, but it's like if it were cloud storage, where you can just, it's an actual server kind of thing where you can just connect it and like you can put things into it, like not physical things, but storage. And I was like, that's amazing, because you don't even have to like worry about paying for cloud storage. I'd really like that. But alternatively, I also did see some SSD drives that were very small that you can connect to your phone, and you can also transfer data onto there. So that way I can have more space to have things. And oh my God, David, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday. Que viva! Que viva! Que viva! Remember, if you're the person who says, whenever you're, remember, in the social setting, if you say que viva, it's as a response to someone saying que viva el cumpleañero. That means if you're the person who says it, you have to say que viva el cumpleañero, and then everyone else says que viva. So it's that's like the process of it. But yeah, thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias. Gracias. Te lo agradezco un montón. So yeah, honestly, once again, thank you everyone for being here. Like David, thank you for the donation. As a birthday gift, it means a lot. I hope we can make it in time for another live stream. Another day. Right now, I am, like I said, planning on making that next competition video. I will be uploading the shorts of the competition, the previous one, between tomorrow and maximum Wednesday if I upload 2 a day, or Friday if I upload 1 a day. If you want to see them ahead of time, you can check out my Instagram, of course. They're already uploaded on there, because I wanted to share it with the pages that these places had. They didn't give me anything for it, by the way. They just, the day of the competition, they helped me with the encebollado. So at least I wanted to give back a little bit and make those videos for them so that they can get a little bit more attention. And of course, like I said, the main purpose of the competitions was always to make sure that everyone who watches them, you know what to try when you get here. I think in my channel, I've promoted encebollado more than I promoted anything on this channel. And you will not regret it. As long as you're not allergic to fish or you just don't like fish or for some reason encebollado just happens to be your enemy dish, you're gonna like encebollado. And you're gonna love it if you eat it in Puerto Viejo. And the 9 encebollados that joined us that day for that competition are the best ones you're gonna find in the city. So now you know where they are. Now you know which one is the best. All you gotta do is come. Michelle, have a great evening with your friends. Today's your day. Soak up every minute and dance like no one's watching. That wasn't dancing, that was just some mini moves. De nada, disfruta la juventud. Muchas gracias, David. Yeah, I mean, I think by friends, the only people who are going to be there is my brother and I think his girl. We're going to go out and eat, and that's it. I don't know if my friends are going to make it because they said they were going to... Well, they didn't say anything. My brother tried to invite them out on Saturday for an early celebration because Monday is a work day, but they couldn't make it. So I don't know if we're going to do something, if they're going to show up. If they do, cool. But if not, then that's okay. Abrazos y disfrutas. Abrazos a ti, Alcubo. Espero que lo estés pasando bien en Panama. I hope you're having the best time in Panama. Michelle, every live stream I get so hungry. It's because I talk about encebollado. I gotta stop talking about encebollado so much. But next time, for the competition video, I'm gonna be talking about ceviche. And that one, in my mind, is definitely not gonna be a live stream. It's gonna be a pre-planned video, which means it's gonna be recorded, which means I'm gonna get my hands on it so I can edit it. So it's gonna be super cool. The shorts are also came out really good. So the editing on them is top notch, in my opinion. But for the video, for the ceviche one, edited. So it's gonna look a lot better. So yeah, gracias a todos. Again, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your birthday wishes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, of course, watching the channel. If there's any content that you have curiosity or suggestions about, please don't forget to, of course, mention it in the chat. Whenever you see, when you leave a comment, sometimes I don't answer immediately, but I read it and I check so I can see what I can do, what kind of videos you want to watch. Upcoming videos, competition, cost of living, Puerto Viejo again, but kind of special. We'll see how I do that last one, but definitely cost of living is coming soon. But yeah, have a fun birthday. Don't forget to get desserts. You're right. I have to go to Bloom and see if I order maybe I don't think they have s'mores tart anymore. So I'll see if I ask them for maybe a cinnamon roll or something because I do miss my s'mores tart. But yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you everyone for being here. Gracias a todos. Please take care and we will talk soon. I will keep you updated. Keep answering the polls, not the polls, the quizzes on my community tab. I make them especially for you guys, so I hope you're enjoying them and they're giving you a lot of value. Take care, que viva el cumpleañero, and as always, Ace out. Ciao a todos, bye everyone, take care.